One guy they didn't re-sign, we all know, Willson Contreras. I don't know if Kevin has the quick video from Twitter of Wilson's interview about the Cubs organization versus the Cardinals way, Cubs way versus the Cardinals way. But let's go ahead and play that, Kevin, if you got it. It's a short, like 50-second comment from Willson Contreras. Then I'm going to guess has triggered at least half of Cubs fans.
Yeah, I mean, this is this for me. I like this better. It's better organization. We all almost like old school way, which I love it. And that's something that I really like it. I already talked to the manager about it, like how was the culture here, and everything since I got here is being everything just one way, the Cardinal way, and I have to adjust it. So it's not that hard. I mean, do everything right and respect each other. That's it.
I love that we got the Cardinals commercial zinger in there at the end of that. Like, okay.
Oh man!
Shout out to my guy Alan Stout, who works at Bally Sports Midwest. There, I said something nice about the Cardinals broadcast team. There you go.
Here's one thing you can't. Here's one thing you have to look yourself in the mirror. Okay. Yeah, the credit does go to Bally Sports Midwest. He said it's a better organization.
Is he wrong? That's my thing. Is he like that wrong?
How far you zoom out, he's not wrong about that. Now, they haven't won a World Series as recently as the Cubs.
No.
So, not necessarily in recent years, but in general, if you look back at the last 25 years, you say which organization has been better? Well, as much as it hurts, it has been the Cardinals. Yeah. But I don't get why he has to take the bait on it. That said, I'm not losing sleep. That said, I think Cody might be. So Cody, if you're to the point where you can't take it anymore, let us know.
I'm really not that bothered by it. I don't like hearing it. Like we talked about this. This is Willson Contreras. This is what he does.
Yeah.
This is what he does. But it doesn't mean I want to hear it though. But also at the same time, why? Why is he doing this? Sure, last year the Cubs, dangling him around, trying to trade him, not being able to thanks to Dusty Baker, whatever. I get it. I get the business bothering him that much. I get that. But dude, he was with the organization for 14 years. The Cubs gave him the opportunity to be a major league player, all these things.
That's fair.
And I understand why fans have completely flipped some, and I understand why some aren't. For me, I'll give him my one, if I'm at a game, if I go to a Cubs Cardinals game this year, first game I'm at for that, and he comes to the bat, I'll give him a hand. Nice round of applause. But that's all he's getting from me. And it sucks because the dude, there's a reason that he's beloved here. There's a reason he got all those damn standing ovations. There's a reason for all of it. But it's almost like he's purposely doing it to not only just poke bear at the Cubs front office, but also it almost at the fans. So he's saying all kinds of shit that the fans don't want to hear. And I get it. He's doing it to get on the Cardinal fan side too. But there's just parts of it that it just Baez, Rizzo, Bryant, none of them did any of that shit. And I know they didn't go to the Cardinals, but even though Rizzo, his time with the Cubs at the very beginning when he left, that, even though that didn't end well, there's quotes of him last year saying all kinds of great things about the Cubs. And he told Jameson Taillon to come here. That's the difference between Willson Contreras and the rest of them. And whenever I'm being told by some certain minor league players about Willson Contreras' reputation within the organization, and then hearing what he's saying now, I'm not necessarily surprised, man. It is what it is.
Look at the different reactions in the chat. You have RWB saying, to be honest, Willson is dead to all of us. Then Fernando with a super chat for $5 saying, Cards are trolling since they have nothing else going on. They've been constantly asking some questions for clips. The line has been drawn. Done with him. Niren says he'd do the same thing if he was Willson. And Barbara's point, this is a great point from Barbara. then why was he crying so much about leaving the team that he says is not as good as an organization? That's fair.
Here's my take on this, and I don't know, Cubs fans may not be happy to hear this, but like my thing is like, for number one, just like what do you expect? What did people really surprised that Willson Contreras, who one likes to get under other teams' skin, and two is pissed that the Cubs let him go, and first of all tried to trade him to, like, as much as he said he understood the game, the business side of baseball, like he's not happy that the Cubs didn't want him around anymore. So those two things mixed together, why is everyone so surprised that he's taking shots at the front office? And that's the other part of it, is like, most of what he has said has not had anything to do with Cubs fans, but they are reading it as he is taking shots at Cubs fan base. And I think when I look at it, most of it, like probably like 90-something% of it, has just been taking shots at the front office and the organization itself, not the fans. So I don't know. It makes me laugh because it's like people are getting so mad about it when, like, that's Willson Contreras. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, right? Like, he is not afraid to get under people's skin and stir some stuff up. He's just an emotional player, and that's why people liked him so much when he was here. But I'm not surprised that he's, like, just taking some shots at the front office or the organization. And to be fair to him too, is like, it's not like he's getting asked the question, like I'm sure, I didn't see what the question exactly was, but I'm sure it was whoever interviewed him saying, what do you
to compare the two organizations, I think.
So it was a question kind of being asked to him versus him coming out and tweeting like, the Cubs organization sucks, Cardinals way is so much better.
There's a difference.
I don't know. So it just kind of makes me laugh that this whole thing is like, the Cubs fans have turned on Willson. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that people are just like this surprised that he's saying things, and I get it. Like, it's not like him, like picking on the Brewers or whatever, right? Like, he was with the Cubs organization for a long time. Cubs fans like loved him and supported him a lot, and even most fans wanted him back as well. But he is with the Cardinals now. He's trying to appease himself to the Cardinals fan base, and it's I don't know. It's just funny to me. I'm not surprised that it's happening. I'm not going to tell Cubs fans not to be pissed about it, because they're going to be regardless. And whatever, if you're reading it as a Cubs fan and saying that he's crapping on the organization after we gave him so much love, then you read it that way. That's fine. I don't know. It's just looking at it from like trying to, a middling perspective. I just think it's not surprising to see that this stuff is happening.
Lil Yumper says Willson must have needed another 25 ovations to feel loved. LOL. Max says, as a fan, this sucked to hear after supporting him for years. He's doing everything to burn the bridge all the way down. It's so split down the middle. There's very few people that are like us, like, well, whatever. I agree 100%. I expected every bit of it. I understand it. That doesn't make it easier for Cubs fans to hear it.
No.
But knowing his personality, this is what you were going. Once they headed down that road, this is the way it was going to end. I don't think it means he doesn't love Chicago or the Cubs, but he's mad at some people, and because he felt like he gave everything and they turned their back on him. They felt like they were making a business decision. Now he's with the Cardinals. I think it's going to be real ugly. And somebody mentioned it in the chat. I do think it's going to be interesting to see if Willson gets plunked in a game against the Cardinals this year, how players will react if that happens. Yeah. Even if it's accidental, to see what will happen. The first time either team gets plunked could be interesting if he's behind the home plate. So something to keep an eye on.